And I think we should start with a very, very high level summary. Let's assume that no one knows who the fuck we are. So, Rich,
Okay.
I want in 30 seconds
Oh God,
you,
elevator. Me as a person, or me as a
Mahara, not as a person, irrelevant. That'll
Mahar?
come out. Challenge. At the moment, like, what is just fucking taking you down? What are you struggling with?
We are me personally, or as an organisation.
Either. Ideally,
Either.
you. I want
I did.
human pain.
Human suffering, right?
And
And
you're talking about AI, basically.
yeah. I can feel like this is the biggest shift, and I know everyone's saying it's the biggest shift we've had in our adult life. And when I begin to unpack it, and you read and you discover, and I'm doing a lot of research, it's like, whoa.
You know that we do courses where we train people and then we place them in a business train, but specifically in like marketing AI. This is how to deploy AI within that space. And finally, Rich, how do you feel about this new format?
I like it. I feel like we're just talking. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we would talk about if we were in West Cliff-on-Sea enjoying a seafood supper.
Bear with me, diaries. This is what we're doing. We're going to, instead of talking about business ideas and analysis, which people love, we're going to talk about our journey, aren't we, Rich?
Yeah, all 212 people love it.
243 on YouTube.
243. Okay.
And 150 on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is hampered significantly by your lack of engagement. But I think you're going to engage with this. You've posted about fucking 4 times this year on LinkedIn, in spite of the fact that I sometimes send you the short. I just, there it is. Just put that on fucking LinkedIn. I don't think that it's that you don't want to.
No, I think your wife crushing a mouse isn't necessarily right for my audience. I think that's what it is. I've got a few followers on LinkedIn now. I'm like 7,000 or something. Not bad for someone that posts once a month.
But I think your followers are going to like this, aren't they?
I think they probably are, yeah, because it's authentic. We think it's going to be authentic, don't we? I think that's the angle we're going for. Is like, let's not try and manufacture too much. Let's just be quite authentic. We've got quite interesting professional lives. So week by week, can we give a blow by blow, or not necessarily all negative, of course, blow by blow kind of thing about what we've been through, what we've learned. Maybe there's some tidbits for people, right? Maybe it's entertainment. Maybe we just talk about the fluffy toys you use as paintbrushes. I don't know.
And I think we should start with a very, very high level summary. Let's assume that no one knows who the fuck we are. So, Rich, okay. I want in 30 seconds.
Oh, God, elevator. Co-CEO, co-founder of Mahara Venture Studio, co-founding Venture Studio and innovative tech product builder. I've done this many times, Doug. I do this all the time. So co-founding Venture Studio means we work with founders that understand the why of their business. So they might be a sector specialist. They might come from industry. They know why that thing, their business needs to exist. We figure out the how of how to go and build it. And we actually go and do the building as well. But ultimately, we build innovative tech product, digital product.
The venture market, I think people are going to be really interested by this. So you've essentially got, Mohara has equity positions in a load of startups where you've done work at cost. Yes. What is this? How many positions? What sort of percentages are you taking?
Mm-hmm. So we started in 2016. Our first 3 years were shite. You know, we weren't very good. I can say that now. If you're in the founder group,
you invested in our business in the first 3 years, and that fucker's as currently in liquidation. So okay, fair.
Yeah. So you excluded, and anyone else who's watching this that was in the first 3 years, I won't mention the years. Our first 3 years weren't very good, and the survival rate's been really poor. You know, and I think our understanding of how to be an investor had to really mature quickly. Since 2019, we've seen like a 2.5 times multiple. And since 2020, we're at like 3.58 multiple.
As a founder, just the infrastructure they can tap into and the knowledge they can tap into by having a Mahara versus trying to resource that with a traditional agency, with in-house, with freelancers, it's kind of incomparable. It's obviously not always the right decision for them. It depends on their circumstances, depends on, but I think in a lot of cases, this feels like the way that it will go. Like there will be other people doing this. It just makes so much sense what they can tap into for the price. Are you seeing more demand over time for this kind of stuff?
I think we're seeing more acceptance of the venture studio model. I think there are a number of what you classify as typical, more traditional dev shops, that are just pure engineering. They're not maybe startup builders and they're not product people per se. There's a bit of kind of dev shops will do the occasional project at cost to get equity in it, but they're not structured for it and they don't have it as a mindset. So that you see that a fair bit and there's acceptance there, but it's very short lived. The venture studio model was just really disliked when we started. VCs didn't like it. They were like, no, you need a CTO, you need this, you need that, which is bullshit. You don't need that at all. You don't need a CTO to be fixing bugs on your startup project at 150 grand a year. You just don't.
All right. Let me tell you about me. Two businesses. We've got Kalim, which is a marketing agency focusing on search and paid. We do B2B, and we also do travel. We've just launched into the travel sector because it's such a good market for the skill set that we have. That's a very small business, sort of 8 people in-house, high quality, niche. I think for the price that we charge, because the whole team is based in South Africa, I think it is the best quality you can get anywhere in the world. And that turns over very small. Last year, somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other business, Marketing Pros, is helping companies, mainly in the UK, US, Australia, find marketing talent in South Africa. They work remotely, and then we embed them into their business, and that's growing very fast. That's grown like 3x in the last 12 months. That's going to do the last 12 months. It's done about 700,000 turnover, and I think we'll probably grow, double, 3 times next year. That's a really exciting business. Yeah, they're my 2 things. Let's dwell on our weeks, because this is going to be, isn't it, Rich? Shit that's happening to us in real time, so people can follow along. So we're going to start with summary of your week. You got 30 seconds, and I'm going to keep you to that because you fucking talk. I'm on my phone here. No, I'll 40. I think you need 40.
I think I need 40. Okay, so summary of my week. So I'm doing a lot of growth at the minute, growth work, because December and January are always slow, right? So I want to make sure that we've got enough conversations going on and enough people to be speaking to. So there's a load of focus on growth. So a lot of time with my growth team this week. We verbally agreed a new project in the States, which was fantastic news. In the AI space, lots of AI disruption at the minute. So that was really, really positive. I then did 5 or 6 other meetings across the week, 4 of which were AI startups. Some really trippy shit, by the way. Some really trippy shit that's existential. And then the rest of the time, I did the normal CEO stuff, and then I did some recruitment.
Boom! You hit that in 40 seconds.
Yes.
All right. Do me 40 seconds. So similarly, just focusing on growth across both businesses. So Marketing Pros, just the problem with that business is we do get a shitload of leads because the sell is good, isn't it? It's like, cool, we'll find you some really good people. They're not, it's going to be a saving. But it is honestly just sifting through those companies to work out which ones are going to be good to work with. Because you know what it's like when people start recruiting, they say one thing at the start and things change a lot. So we want to find these long-term partners. So I've been spending a lot of time just trying to work out, fuck, is that 40 seconds? Fuck, 40 seconds? Fuck me.
Not easy, is it? I think we need a minute next time.
Nah, you did a much better job than me of summarising your week.
And you also slammed me for being too much of a talker at the beginning, so get back in your box. Yeah,
I agree. I do overtalk. I overtalked there. That was terrible. But yeah, doing a lot of growth stuff. All right. So challenge. What is at the moment? Like, what is just fucking taking you down? What are you struggling with?
We are me personally, or as an organisation.
Either. Ideally, you. I want human pain.
Human suffering. Right. I drove to Brighton yesterday and it took 6 hours. That was painful. We had to leave the M1 5 times. I know that's not about professional stuff. What am I struggling with at the minute? I think there's a couple of things. There is so much moving in our industry at the minute that I feel like it's so quick, struggling to stay ahead of it all. Like I don't think there's been a time in any of my professional life where I've woken up every single start of each week and gone, fuck, that happened. God, that's happened. That's been released. This is happening. This is in the news. These newsletters just coming through, just hammering us with what's happening in the industry. And it is relentless, like relentless. And it's both exciting, but intimidating and scary and all the rest of it. And when you're leading a business and your primary role is being at the forefront of that to say, this is the direction of the industry, this is the direction of what we need to be doing, this is how we stay current, this is how we stay present, this is how we go and win in this environment and not lose in this environment, that is like hardcore.
And you're talking about AI, basically.
Yeah, I'm talking about AI, but not just about AI in terms of what it will do for, like, say, what we would traditionally sell, but also AI and like, what is the future? It's like I had like huge existential conversations with my dad on Wednesday because I got a train down to London, and I was like, "You got 5-10 minutes because I've just had an idea and I want to talk you through it." And it was big, and he was just like, "Whoa!" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "My mind's just going places because I can feel like this is the biggest shift." And I know everyone's saying that it's the biggest shift we've had in our adult life. And when I begin to unpack it and you read and you discover, and I'm doing a lot of research, it's like, whoa. So that I'm wrestling with. There's a load of like wrestling with what that means for me as an individual, what that means for me professionally, what that means for our business. And it's just coming like a wave and it just doesn't stop.
What is all right, like, give me an example, like, let's focus on the business, AI, like what you're worried, what, talk me about what you're worried about.
So I'd be worried if we ran a different type of business. If I was a website designer and builder now, I'm out of work. I'm done. Like if I owned WordPress, I'd be really, really worried. If I was doing a manual CMS system, I'd be really, really worried. Because you can now go into Chat PRD, which is product requirements document, and you can say, I'd like a product requirements document for this, please, as product manager. You do it, spins it out for you. You chat to it a little bit, spins it out for you. Then you go into, say, Lovable, and you say, okay, I want you to create me this component. And it might be like the website for this, whatever you want to build. Do it, bang, there's your code. Then you can export that straight to the thing that gets it on the internet. If you want to go and design a front-end website, you might go into, say, Reloom. Create me a website for this. I did Mahara's website, right? I redesigned the whole front of the website. I did it in under 10 minutes. And it did the layouts. Oh, and then it spat the code out. So if you're a front-end pure brochure site developer right now, you're in trouble. Retrain. You've got to retrain. You are going. It's coming for you. You're essentially like the guys that used to open car parks for you until that car park machine came in.
What's the opportunities then? So like what? Okay, you're like you said. I chatted to my dad and had this big idea. Like what? What was that?
I'm not telling. I'm not talking about that.
Give us a context of what it looked like, the sort of thing. Some deployment of AI in some shit.
So the consideration is that pre the internet, you consumed information through a few medium: TV, newspapers, books, radio. Right? Then the internet just smashed it apart. And then everybody can be a producer of content and you can go and get your content from anywhere that you want. With the advent of ChatGPT and agentic workflows, people are consuming information in that workflow as opposed to going to Google and searching for it. Right? So these agentic workflows where you're consuming with this information is kind of like your TV, kind of like your radio, kind of like your newspaper. Because it's all, I think you're going to see a centralization of consumption of information when it went completely decentralized with the internet. And I think we're going to see a movement back to centralization around agentic workflows and what feeds those workflows. But I'm not going further than that because we're going to build something and I don't want to get anyone to get it.
All right. So, okay. So that was your challenge. Will I do mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? So I'll be interested to get your view on this. So that we do courses where we train people and once they're trained, they do a 12-week course and then we place them in a business trained. We are looking at training people, but specifically in like marketing AI stuff. So,
Okay.
let's say whatever, you could take any marketing discipline, content creation, and just say, all right, this is how to deploy AI within that space. You're going to do a 12-week program where we take you, your competent person, hardworking. We're going to show you all of these tools. We're looking at actually creating some as well. And then going to companies and saying, we've got your person. They're really good quality. They're lower cost and they're AI enabled. And the reason that there's a few factors that led me to this. One is just when I speak to clients, they're always just asking about AI, and similar to you, just reading about it a lot. Secondly, I was speaking to like a venture capitalist about the business and how we get it into shape to sell it. And he was just saying, look, if you can just somehow fucking layer AI into this, it's just going to increase the value. It just is, just because it's, it sounds good. I was like, okay, not that convinced, I suppose, but fine. And then we were speaking to another larger company that we're talking about buying as early marketing pros, and they were asking about AI. Everyone I talk to just wants to know. And all of that, I'm like, okay, fine. But the most important thing above all of this is what you said, which is it does work. So, you start, I think you start having really good people, AI enabled. That's obviously a win. And if we can lead on finding the great people, getting them enabled, I think that's just a big win at the moment.
Because loads of people are scratching the surface. I mean, I can't speak for marketing necessarily, but people are beginning to scratch the surface of understanding that it's not just about ChatGPT wrapper. It's not just about some voice around marketing that can say, okay, this is your content creator, this is your strategist, this is this, because there's a lot of that going on, and some of that is quite could be quite powerful. But your guys need to use those tools to be better marketers, not say that is the tool that the client should use. That becomes a tool it's a set of tool in that you as a human being can go and do the marketing. You're still marketing to human beings, and at the moment anyway. I mean, AIs may end up being the people that buy stuff, but use them, treat it as a tool.
Certainly for the next 5 years, this is, AI-enabled service businesses or AI-enabled people is clearly going to be hugely valuable because a lot of people won't know it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's where we are. That's something that, again, just bringing it back to just as a business owner, I just feel like I just have this strong sense that we have to move fast on this.
I totally agree.
To speak to her today. And finally, Rich, how do you feel about this new format?
I like it. I feel like we're just talking. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we would talk about if we were in West Cliff-on-Sea enjoying a seafood supper. So, it's authentic, and some episodes will be really interesting and will really roll, and some episodes might be a little bit flatter because that's a little bit like what life is like, right?
And all we need now is a name. So I'm also going to give you the opportunity to do the outro, Rich.
Welcome to Bear With Me 2.0, currently unnamed because Doug wants to give it a series name. I'm on the fence. It's going to be authentic. It's going to be probably pretty raw because all we want to really do is to be two business owners kind of talking through what we actually go through on a day-to-day, on a week-to-week. And I think it's going to be fun, as much as I don't look as I'm bouncing with energy right now.
I've seen you worse this year.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into that. In our reflection, we should do a couple of sessions where we can take H1, first half of the year, and then H2. Because H1 was, it's Anderson shelter stuff, wasn't it? It was the Blitz. I was in there. I had a pack of peaches and maybe some beans. No fork though, and definitely not a can opener. And it was just getting shelled. We can get into that.
Yeah, and I'd like to. All right. Nice one, Rich. Well, see you next week.
All right, Doug. Cheers, buddy. Take care.